What's up, guys? It's Lil Nogi Tales here, and today I'm gonna do part two of Johan Liebert's character analysis. And in the previous part, I talked about his personality, his background, and basically the present events that has happened throughout Monster. And in this part, I'm gonna talk about his basic goals, his whether or not the evil in him is a question of nature or nurture, and also his relationships with various characters in the series. So let's start with the goals. The first goal he had was basically when we see him in Munich, in the University of Munich, as one of Schuwald's readers. It was basically to take um, take control of Schuwald's finances, if you will. And he does this by isolating Schuwald, by killing off the ones who has ties with Schuwald, and kind of relating relating with him or getting on his good side by reuniting him with his long lost son, Carl. But midway through his operation, he saw the picture book, the Nameless Monster, and he basically had an epiphany, and he remembered all or most of what the past events that he has done, Kinderheim and the Red Rose Mansion. Yeah, and the Three Frogs. Basically those events. He remembered after seeing the book. And his plan changed into basically committing the perfect suicide. And that is to kill all who knew him except for Tenma and Anna. Because, like he says with, the fat prostitute, I don't know her name, Blue Sophie. Like he says with Blue Sophie, you can't kill someone you that doesn't exist. And so when he engages in this perfect suicide, we see him, kill various characters. I think the only one I can remember is the baby, but there were some serial killers that he's been using as pawns that he gets rid of. And besides saving Tenma and Anna, I think he wanted to show Tenma the image of a doomsday, and I'll talk about that. The image of a doomsday is basically complete isolation from all those that know you. Like in the book, The Nameless Monster. Like at the end of The Nameless Monster, the monster says, "I finally found it my name, but there's no one left to call it that." That's what Johan's basing image of a doomsday of. Basically, basically he's cutting off all ties. He's isolating the person he's doing this on, so that no one really knows, or no one can prove their identity. This happens with Wolf. He tries this on Schuwald and it's almost complete, and he's attempting this on Tenma. Like with see with Wolf on his deathbed, he's you know he says, "There's no one that remembers me by my name, Wolf. All the people I knew, my family, my friends, my acquaintances, they're all dead. They were killed by Johan." And throughout those years that Johan killed or was, isolating Wolf, we see from the picture when he took the picture with Johan in Kinderheim, and his present condition, how much he's aged, and he gives that credit to fear. He also attempts this with Schuwald by killing off, or sending his followers to kill off several of his family. The cases with Detective Braun. he kills them off, but ultimately Shuval, he finds that one time that was his son Carl. So in a way, Johan doesn't really succeed. And also Tenma. Basically, he wants Tenma and Anna to be the only ones that remember him, the two people that he cares for the most. And there's still some question as to why exactly he wanted to commit the perfect suicide. And in my theory, I think the only reason why was, after he gets the nameless monster and he gets his memories back from looking at the book. My theory is that he knows what he's become or what he's done, and he knows that by him continuing to live, it's just gonna hurt Tenma and Anna more and more. The two people that he cares about the most. So even though Anna was willing to forgive and redeem him, he wanted to be out of their lives because it would be the best for both Anna and Tenma. So that's why also the question whether Johan's purely evil, and I don't really, it's hard to say if there's any character that's purely evil, but you can't really call Johan purely evil because there are people he cares about in the series. All right, so that leads off to the next topic, which is whether Johan was a product of nature, which is, was he born this way? Is was evil just inside him, or was he a product of nurture, which means like, was he raised by this? Did Kinderheim, Red Rose Mansion, Three Frogs, did they do this to him? And for me, honestly, I think it's a mixture of both, meaning that there was a seed of evil in Johan. Like, let's think of it as a tree, and that seed is evil. I mean, the seed in the tree is evil. If you continue to, water it and put it in the sunlight, it'll grow and grow and grow. I think that was for Johan, and the seed, he was born with evil, but the recent events, Kinderheim, Red Rose Mansion, and the Three Frogs, they were basically the catalyst, and they enhanced it, like they magnified how. How do I say this? They basically sprouted the evil within him, like they brought out its full potential and became like an antichrist figure. And the reason I say that he was born evil is, the biggest proof for me is the fact that he enjoys human suffering. His favorite thing is seeing the fear in people's eyes. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure he was born a sociopath. There's been studies, and yeah, you don't really become a sociopath. You're just born with it. And when researchers took tests of their emotion, oh, not tests, but they took scans of some of the serial killers on their emotional lobes, it's much different, from regular humans. Like the part with emotion and sympathy, it's completely messed up. So I think he was born that way. But, the recent events did, like, it just exploded the evil within Johan. And another reason why people would think that he's a product of nurture was the time we see him in Kinderheim. And yes, Kinderheim and Red Rose Mansion, whatever, we see him panicking and he says, I just want to see Anna. And that's really key because this is the only time I've ever seen Johan panic, or at least I remember seeing Johan panic in the series, is when him and Anna are separated, his other half, if you will. when they're separated, Johan kind of loses his cool in a way, when he was drugged and he had that interview. So seeing him in that vulnerable state, kind of makes us want to sympathize with him even more and say that this is what made him, but I don't know about that. I think it's just, we see Johan in a different mode, different stage, not his usual suave self. And this is just my theory, and these are just the facts that I'm going with. But a counter argument would be, Kinderheim did mess up a lot of people, and we see that with Roberto, Johan, Grimmer, and the serial killer that Braun was chasing. And before it was all stated, they were all good people. Grimmer was pretty good in the series. I'm not saying he's evil, but he didn't feel any sympathy for his son's death, and Kinderheim really did make him that way. For Roberto, Grimmer said he was good before, and so was Grimmer, the guy that Grimmer was talking with about the videotape. I think I forgot what, but he basically was Roberto's cousin or something. He said Roberto was good before Kinderheim, before he went through that experimentation. But he turns into a hitman. And he too also enjoys killing. There's also the serial killer that Richard Braun was investigating, and Johan stated previously that he was gonna what's the word I'm looking for? He was gonna oh yeah, he was a good kid, but Kinderheim made him in this way. He made the monster inside him bloom. And yeah, so that's one way, maybe it did change Johan, maybe not, but I'm on the side that he was born this way, and just the recent events that happened in his past, that's what made him into the monster he is. That portion. So he was born a monster in a way, like he didn't have feelings for others. He was a sociopath, but Kinderheim, Red Rose Mansion, and the Three Frogs, they basically just amplified it times 1,000. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the next part. Well, actually, yeah, this video might be too long. So the next part, which is the basic relationships, will be the last part of Johan's character analysis. And sorry I didn't upload it before, but something went wrong. I guess I can't really upload too long videos, or else I have trouble uploading it because I'm just uploading it from my phone. But I'm really sorry about that. I'll get the next one as soon as possible. Okay, thanks. This little Noki Tales here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.